Why am I moved by this?
Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
Raja Karipara is in every cupboard, from Constantia to Kailicha. Doesn't matter who you are, through Para, Goodwood, the Boerewors, and everywhere we've got them. And that one ingredient binds South Africans together in a way that we can't explain. Well, it doesn't come from here. There's no way that you can debone a snook for a tourist to have a better snook experience. The snook comes with bones, and you've got to say, how's it, man?
You've got to earn it.
Yes, this is the chicken of the ocean. You pick off this thing because it's delicious.
Hello, welcome back to What's the Difference, a Woolworths podcast. My name is Sibongile Mafu.
I'm Steve Steinfeld.
And I'm so excited for today's episode. The fact that we got this person to come still blows my mind. Were they in your WhatsApp?
They might have been in my WhatsApp.
They might have been in your WhatsApp.
In fact, this chef doesn't have WhatsApp.
Okay.
So it was in my texts.
Okay, good. Because that's a question that I wanted to ask. Do chefs actually answer emails and WhatsApp messages?
To be fair, I can't really talk because I'm sometimes guilty of also not answering them.
We'll find out today.
Yeah, we'll find out later.
Yeah.
But our guest today probably has the range that no other chef in the country has. He's a fine dining master, burger bar king, cookbook author, mentor, television presenter.
Go on.
I mean, all-round culinary trailblazer.
Yeah. He is the recipient of the Out Woolworths Trailblazer Award for 2025, a chef who has built an empire of restaurants that range from fine dining to really good burgers.
Our guest today is Chef Bertus Basson.
Hi, Bertus. Hi, chef.
How's it going? Not chef, please.
Oh, not chef.
No, not at all.
Do you tell everyone, who works with you also, not chef?
No, so out of respect, some of the youngsters do, but
Yes.
I don't care. They can call me Bertus. I think no more Wim. No more Wim and no chef. Yeah, that's fine.
Worm must die, chef must die.
Yeah, 100%.
All right,
Yeah.
got you.
Fair enough.
In order to break the ice, we have brought some snacks, and we
Sure.
call it Snack and Yap. Today I have venison sliced biltong.
Love it. Yeah.
When the budget allows, I indulge. And then the icon, the legend.
Yeah.
Give him.
Would you like to do the honors?
My kids will not forgive me if we didn't start with chuckles. To be honest with you,
Is it always in the basket?
I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
that's
We
it,
we
so.
know people.
Yeah, ladies first.
Oh, thank you, Bertus.
Thank you.
I'm always so interested in what chefs love to snack on. When you are not making a delicious creation, what are you eating at home?
So, I keep it quite simple, and like I said, I've got kids. So the best thing about being a parent, apart from having kids, is getting kids' food in the house.
Yes.
So I get to steal their food.
All of the best stuff is
Yeah, 100%,
made for
all the
kids.
sweet bits. And then I do love things like biltong and droewors. I hunt a lot, so I fill my freezer every year with my own biltong and droewors. It's really lucky to be able to just know where it comes from. It's important for us. So that's sort of our staple snacks. I'm also a big fan of tinned fish.
Nice.
Tinned sardines.
Please,
now
can we
that-
give tinned fish
Oh,
the
fly
respect it deserves?
I agree with you. It's an amazing, convenient thing to eat.
Sardines.
Yeah,
Lovely.
delicious. And just a tin of sardines, a little bit of peri-peri sauce, a bit of fresh avocado. It's a super cool snack. Yeah. Another thing is really good actually is I've fallen in love again with dates.
Yeah.
Like a quick date snack really sustains your blood sugar if you're hungry, because chefs don't eat really. We taste, and we get home and we're like starving.
You eat like birds.
We do, but then when you get home, you're like, I have three or four dates,
Yeah.
and it just sort of settles your blood sugar down nicely. So dates is a good one.
Would you like a last
good
chuckle?
snack
Yeah,
alternative.
thank you. That's very kind
I
of you.
clear the table.
Thanks a lot.
Otherwise, I will have to go into a corner somewhere and finish them on my own.
I see what you're doing, Sibs. Yeah.
Let me take them away.
Bertus thinks he's going to get those to take home to his kids. Is your handbag there?
It's big enough. It is. You've been on quite a life journey, many different chapters, but cooking been with you since you were a teenager.
Sure.
Professionally, 19 years old? 17.
That
Yeah,
would be
I
Did I take 2 years away from you? 17 years old, cooking in London at 19.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
First
First and foremost.
I never wanted to do anything else, so it was a natural progression for me, and I'm Afrikaans, obviously. And in Afrikaans families, like many other South African families, we celebrate life through food. So, every big occasion, Christmas, Easter, birthdays, it's all about food. And it was just always around us, and around me. So it was just a natural thing. But I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Like there was no other journey.
I was going to ask if the cooking thing didn't work out.
Yeah, what was it going to be?
Here he is, Bertus the accountant.
It would have been a disaster.
Likewise, was nearly Steve the accountant. That didn't go well.
No, I don't want to see that
go down well
parallel
at all.
universe. Yeah.
But I mean, that time in the industry was a bit of a hardcore time to be in the chefing world in London. Sure. I mean, did it shape the chef you are today?
Look, in more ways than one. So I think, I worked in kitchens where we worked with very angry French sous chefs, and that was fine. Yeah. But I think what was
joy.
Yeah, what was really important was, and the lesson that I learned is that relaxed kitchens produce food. So not a shouty, screamy kitchen, but there has to be a certain sense of stress around quality and what we do, discipline, yeah. and that's it. So that's probably one of the biggest lessons is that when there's discipline in your space, then the food usually is a lot better.
And I think if we look at your food now, what you really do well is you delve into not only South African heritage in the broad sense, but your own South African heritage.
Sure.
And I remember there's this dish at Eike, the candle. Yeah. And I'm just going to ask you to tell the story because it's such a, I love the story so much.
So I think there's a bit, and I think also South African culture is a little bit common. And I'm definitely a bit common. Mm-hmm. And I love that part of my Afrikaans heritage, like the cheesy bits that nobody else likes. I love that part. But there's a wonderful story of back in the day when you courted a young lady, you jump on your horse and you drive to the next farm, and you'd knock on the door and the father would light a candle. And when the candle was burnt out, you had to leave. So the candle was how they timed the date. Okay. If the family liked you or the daughter liked you, a long candle would emerge. Okay. If it was a short date, a short candle would emerge.
You have 30 minutes.
100%, or less. Yeah. And it was called the opset kers. So it's a courtship candle. Okay. And at Eike, we have a candle made out of beef fat, beef-tallow. It's been on the menu since we opened up. It's called the opset kers. Yeah. And when guests sit down, we say, look, we tell the story and we light the candle, but we say that when the candle's finished, you're welcome to stay. It's not a courtship.
We're not kicking you out.
No, yeah. but it's those little bits of South African sort of, I suppose, history and food history that really is important to us to preserve for our future.
And the humour as well.
Yes,
because,
100%.
Food should be fun. I mean, I know the environment you work with there's high pressure. There's things that need to be delivered, but I still love that you keep a little bit of whimsy.
Yeah. and the stuff that we find the most inspirational as Imogile is when we find an old tannie that does something delicious, whether it's a pickle or a jar or a bread or a cake, the kind of stuff that you can eat and you go, this is just delicious. And there's no pretense connected to the food, it's just something that's incredible. And that's the kind of thing, the kind of food that I think that we need to celebrate a bit more in South Africa. It's the stuff that we're losing along the wayside because we're all eating too much soy sauce and miso. So, it's just the way it is, yeah.
And I love that because for so long in the local industry, there was all this talk of needing to have our own South African cuisine. Yeah. And it was quite contentious because how can you have a South African cuisine when there is firstly so much diversity, not only of cultures, but also of different biomes and ingredients around the country that influence how and what was cooked.
Yeah. And then I think there's always examples for me that makes it even more specialized. So there's a golden thread. So none of the ingredients in curry powder comes from South Africa. Okay, they're all imported from other countries. They all come from the East. They were in the VOC. It was the Dutch East Indian Company that arrived here in sacks. They were blended probably here on our shores by slaves. And that's interesting. So it doesn't come from South Africa. However, Raja curry powder is in every cupboard from Constantia to Kailicha. Doesn't matter who you are, through Parow, Goodwood, the Boereworsgoed, and everywhere we've got them. And that one ingredient binds South Africans together in a way that we can't explain, although it doesn't come from here. And it ends up in chakalaka in one household, another household it becomes a curry, it becomes a soup somewhere else. So just that one thing that didn't even come from here has given us something to bind us together. And that's what makes South Africa special. So I always say, for me, South Africa is a mixture of indigenous ingredients, so things that we find here locally, hunt, fish, pull out of the ground, eat. Then it's usually mixed with food that came to Africa against its will, like mealies and curry powder. It was knocked over the head somewhere else and dragged here. And then mixed with modern cooking techniques. And if you get those three things in one place, then we usually have something that I like to call modern South African cuisine, which pays homage to our past and our present and what's coming in our future.
I'm glad you mentioned indigenous ingredients because they are really what makes South Africa is so special. Do you have any favorites?
There's a lot. So I'm a big fan of game meat. Like I mentioned earlier, I do hunt a lot, and what I do like about it is that they all taste different.
Right.
So that's quite cool. And we like to use as much of the animal as we can. Then one of my favorite fish in the ocean is a harder. Now in Europe it's called a mullet, a grey mullet. But that's a little harder over there, the little tattoo, and that becomes a bokum eventually once we salt them and dry them. It's a super special ingredient. Things like snoek, for example, is such a South African thing, and you know, it's one of those ingredients that's uniquely South African in its own way, but we almost shouldn't do anything to it. There's no way that you can debone a snoek for a tourist to have a better snoek experience. The snoek comes with bones, and you've got to say, how's it, man?
You've got to earn it.
Yes, this is the chicken of the ocean. You pick off this thing because it's delicious. So like there's an array of ingredients in South Africa that I think are very special.
Bertus is one of the few chefs, there are a few of them that I know we can have proper chats.
Okay, let's.
Should we talk about
honest.
Michelin?
Sure.
It is quite a hot topic right now. There's, still no guide in Africa, let alone South Africa. Where do you currently sit on? Should we have the guide? Should we have Michelin?
So it's interesting for us in South Africa. Michelin is very much Michelin for me shines in Europe, to be honest with you, where there's European ingredients and standards and those sort of things. Those standards doesn't necessarily exist in South America and in other parts of the world. I think for us to embrace Michelin properly, we have to decide what South African cuisine looks like. Not cuisine, but hospitality looks like. How does South African service look? And that's the standard that we are judged by. Because we are not European, at all. And I think we need to have a little bit of a different perspective. If for example, if it's okay for you to go to Japan and eat on a low table, that's acceptable in a Michelin Star restaurant. Is it okay for us in South Africa to put the best pup in the middle of the table and we're all going to use our hands to eat it because it must be the best? Then it's acceptable. That's the one thing. The second thing is, in my mind, is our market is quite small.
Yes.
And I don't think there's enough restaurants in South Africa to fill a guide. And for those that come into the guide, we'll do extremely well. South Africans love Michelin Star restaurants when we travel. And for those who don't make it into the guide, we'll see a big shift in our industry. I think when it comes to restaurant criticism, Steve, we've had this conversation before as well. I don't believe that chefs should be restaurant critics, to be honest with you at all. I think chefs should be chefs, and restaurant critics are frequent eaters. Or people who go to restaurants and they go, wow, this chair is really comfortable, the plates are beautiful, the table height is correct.
Isn't the playlist?
Those all string together. But does the food match the service, like those sort of things? And chefs usually aren't that. So, and in South Africa, we've obviously got some guides. We've got the JPH Gourmet Guide, we've got Eat Out, etc. And people are critical of these things, but at the same time, I've been a beneficiary of them.
Yeah.
So I can't be overcritical of them, and I don't want to be because it is what it is. It's a reality for us. So I think if Michelin does come to South Africa, it'll change our dining landscape forever, for the better. I'm not sure. Will it be good for our economy? Of course it will. People will travel here to eat, and that's great. And it becomes an aspiring thing. So it really will become a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll be able to sustain it. To be honest with you, if you look at what's happening in New Zealand now, with the sort of they've introduced a guide in New Zealand, they want to the high cost of it. A lot of restaurants are saying that we actually also quite a small economy. We can't afford this? Do we need this? Aren't we good enough on our own? And that's it. And the other thing is in certain parts of the world, Michelin is criticized for handing out stars like candy.
Yeah.
So does it still bear the same weight it does anywhere else?
Yeah.
Is a Michelin star in the Middle East the same weight as a Michelin star in France or in England?
Totally,
you don't know. So and it's quite controversial.
No, completely. That's I think exactly why it's a hot topic.
Yeah.
And I think Michelin are learning. I think Japan was they made interesting moves there.
Yeah.
The same is true in Thailand, where they've really started embracing Thai cuisine as Thai cuisine. But it would be interesting to see what would happen here. I think a lot of chefs would be very grateful for the awards like Eat Out.
Yeah.
Because as you say, I'm not sure what the guide would look like.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that there's benefit, at least I see the benefit that having a star has for chefs on an international level.
Sure.
That we don't have the ability to claim here purely because we don't have the guide.
Yeah, look, I think change is always a thing, you know, and you know, I'm already an older chef, but there'll be a younger generation that embraces this differently than what I do. But you know, when I travel, myself and Madly travel, and we also go eat in fine restaurants, and that's what we do, and we enjoy eating fine food. It is what it is.
Food destination, part of the trip, part of the planning.
Yeah, and you know, I think the other thing on the flip side of that coin that people maybe don't understand is that you get some really rad, very chilled, amazing one-star Michelin restaurants that just serve kick-ass food, okay, unapologetically, and does it really well. And you know, so it's where also you pitch yourself, and where the guide sort of sees you pitch yourself, but you go to the sort of restaurants that are just like, we're going to cook great food, and like that's it.
So they've got that big gourmand category.
Yeah, 100%.
That's like the first thing I look at when I go traveling.
Yeah,
because it's like super casual eateries, but you just like. Most of the time, it's going to be like really just yummy food. Yeah,
and I think that's what we sort of need more of. I think there's been a beautiful move in South Africa in the last few years where there's a younger generation of chefs, and one that comes to mind immediately for me is like Uzuri, Nick, that cooks delicious food, like incredibly delicious food, without much pretense and nonsense. It's just like, this is really good. And we need more of that middle to be filled out with young chefs doing incredibly good things.
I mean, completely off topic and talking about simple food, but Bertus makes the best souffle in the world. Yeah. And it used to be on the menu at Overture, but now I believe it's at
Onketem.
No, that's fantastic.
Time to time.
Right here in Cape Town.
Yes, we can roll. Let's see if there's a mix of this somewhere.
So we're going to play a game called Chef Said What?
Yeah.
We'll read a quote, and you tell us if you said it, if it was another chef, or if we made it up.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Shall I begin?
Go for it.
All right. The 3 characteristics every good chef should have are patience, determination, and a sense of humor.
I didn't say that. Did I say that?
You said that.
Oh, wow. They're not supposed to be funny, though.
I'm joking. You are.
It was super wise.
Yeah, you said that.
The next one is, foams belong in bubble baths, not on plates.
Correct.
That was made up.
So wait, is he doing well in this game or really, really badly?
So far, he's 2 for 2 down.
Okay, I've got to pull it back now. Let's focus.
Yeah, if we win, we get soufflés at Onketem.
Yeah, 100%.
If you win, we'll come to Onketem for soufflés.
Okay, done. Okay, we're not chocolate. We're not here to make everyone happy.
I said that.
You did say that.
Yes. Except your chuckles, you make everybody happy.
Here we go.
The tasting menu works like a bomb.
I didn't say that.
You did.
Did I? At which restaurant?
You did. It was an interview that you did with, I think, Higgs, Temple Huff, and there was one other chef, and you guys all got interviewed about.
But see, this is like 85 years ago, and then you know,
researches and sacrifices his sleep to get to the good stuff.
It's proper, yeah.
Yeah.
I just really want that soufflé, to be honest.
I'm scared of him sometimes. All right. No pea shots, no foam, no drama.
I agree fully. Yes, I did say that.
You did.
Say that.
You did.
I created a restaurant with the food I like to eat, the wine I like to drink, and the music I like to listen to.
That's definitely me. That's second winner.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Another amazing restaurant in London.
Yeah. If I never see dry ice again, it'll be too soon.
I probably said that too. Is that true?
It's made up, but these were all made up by me, and I think we have very similar views on this.
Maybe we are. We're very aligned on this.
Very aligned.
I trust a person more if they order chips.
I do. I probably
made up again, but
it's truth. But see, it's so good.
No.
It's so truthful.
It is so good.
I take a real issue with when chefs say that they don't make chips. Like, but why not?
Yeah,
it's delicious.
It's delicious.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Bertus. A recipe has no soul. You, as the cook, have to bring soul to the recipe.
I didn't say that at all.
Do you know who did?
Who was that?
It was Thomas Keller.
Oh, there you go.
We wanted to build a place where you can grab a burger and a martini on a weeknight, or bring your missus for date night.
That's definitely me. Yeah, Onketem.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So on the topic of people who love simple, delicious cooking, we're now going to be joined by Zandile Finxa, one of Woolworths' product developers for food and the inspirational founder of the Sorghum Agenda. Zandile, step up to the stage. Welcome. Hi.
Wow.
Thank you for the gifts.
Oh, thank you. That's very
This
kind
is
of
for
you.
you from Woolworths as a little thank you for
That's
doing
so kind.
us
Thank
today.
you.
You may need to share.
Been given a giant gift bag.
Yeah, we may need to split that.
I see the chuckles. So, thank you.
Yeah, no, there's actually 15 kilograms of chuckles in there.
Wow.
Special edition. Just
Thank you so much, and it's very kind of you.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining our kitchen, joining our table.
We've got the cold seat. So that's when we ask hard-hitting questions.
Okay.
Do you ever look at a product on shelf and think, if customers just knew about it, they'd love it? And if so, what product? You can't say sorghum, sorry.
So there goes my answer. If I think of like my second best answer, there is an orange citrus bunt in the bakery space. And I'm not saying this because I was part of the team. I'm just saying it is a very delicious product.
Your genius on display, literally.
I'm just, you know what? And I think everyone needs to have the product itself. It's so delicious, so moist, so flavorful, and it's perfect for summer.
And do you think, you know, retail brands like Woolies have a responsibility to champion indigenous product? I mean, they, you know, brought you on. You're part of, you know, the building of all of this. And what is their approach actually when they do things like this?
You know, a big part of the Woolies brand is around seeing the customer and, you know, making foods very accessible and being someone who loves indigenous food. And again, you know, being part of my studies, I often found that a lot of the food isn't very centered, you know, towards the South African palate. It's very Western, it's very, you know, imported. And I think there's just a lot, if you go across all the different provinces, that just needs to be highlighted. And it is a responsibility to, you know, the people who do give back to the customer, you know, the product in easy access, to have those options available. Same way it is, you know, for the fine dining restaurants and all the other restaurants. But definitely, I mean, if I can see sorghum on everything, I'll definitely put it.
How to get it in somewhere.
Listen, I will find a way.
Yeah.
It'll be a stuffing in your chicken.
Like a few years ago, there was a trend of puffing sorghum and garnishing dishes with it. And for
It's still around.
it was everywhere for a bit. Yeah. It was like sometimes without context completely. It was just everywhere.
It was everywhere.
And I mean, now we're going on the sorghum segue. But like, I was thinking about it, and it's actually such a familiar flavor to all of us because of like things like maltabella, and we don't realize it. But then when you taste it, you're like, oh, I know that. Like that's
familiar.
Reminds me of,
Yes.
it's nostalgic in a way, which is quite cool.
It's interesting. I think one of the things that I struggled with the most at Eike back in the day was we used to make like a malted sorghum custard, and foreign guests struggled with it a lot. South Africans loved it because it reminded us of maltabella immediately, but it was a thing for foreign guests. So.
And I mean, clearly South Africans were easy. But I mean, there's maybe always people discovering sorghum and what it's about. Like, how do you try to kind of convince people that this magical, this good stuff?
So a lot of like the acceptance for food comes from like being familiar with it. So like you mentioned, maltabella. And if I say sorghum to my mom, she's like, eh? And then I have to go, no, my baile.
Yeah.
And she sort of gets it. So firstly, it's around like the small bits of education. So you don't want to overwhelm people because then you get a bit too technical and sciencey and no one, you know,
People check
gets
out.
it. So I often try to develop, when I do development with sorghum or other indigenous foods, it's in things that people would eat every day. So I'd make like a cake, I'll make a pudding, I'll make biscuits. And you just want people to feel like it's not something out of their way. And you know, it's like you don't want food to be intimidating. And I think that's one of your biggest, you know, missions. It's not to have food be this pretentious thing. So you want people to know that it's something that they already know. It's just a different flavor profile.
Chef?
Yeah. Do you ever develop something that you don't like? Do you ever like because I often cook stuff that's just and then you know, but do you ever like develop something you're like, I like we can't feed this to people?
So it has happened. I'd like to sit here and be like, no, never.
Everything is perfect. Yeah.
I think oftentimes you'll have an idea of what something should taste like. So you'll know that, you know, there's like a citrus flavor to it. There's like this profile, and then you want to mix everything together. And then when you taste it, you're like, that's why they don't put them together. So I've done, you know, biscuit combinations where I was very brave. And then I'm like, no one is going to see these ever. No one is going to taste these at all. And sometimes it's in meals, you know, like the simplest things. I'll try to be adventurous and
But if you don't try, you'll never know.
Exactly.
So someone's got to do
What's
it.
like the longest prototype like that has taken to be developed over however many different iterations?
The sorghum cookies. So the first one.
I think you're just using those two.
No. I'm really. Outside of that, I'm being very serious. So it was part of like my product development when I was studying, and a big reason was because at that time I felt there wasn't enough, gluten-free alternatives, and I wanted to highlight something that I knew I was familiar with. But again, there wasn't any recipes around it, so I just took a recipe and applied it exactly as it was. And it was horrible. Like, you could throw those biscuits to a wall and play paddle.
Danger.
I was just about to ask you, because sorghum's got a very different structure
Yes.
to anything else, really. How did you get them to have a cookie texture?
I added amasi to the recipe to sort of introduce a bit of an acid to, counteract working with different techniques to the mixing. So you don't, just fold it in, or you need to actually work the dough. And it actually took about 10 tries. I wish I could say, I had it figured like the
Nailed
next
it.
week.
Next week,
But it actually took a few tries because you don't want to change things too much. So you'll change, maybe the fat, and then you'll see, okay, maybe it's not the fat. And then the next week you'll change the milk.
Yeah.
Maybe the milk you need buttermilk, or maybe you need yogurt. So it definitely was a learning experience. And I think it's like that with almost all the dishes when you really get into the development.
And when it works out, what a sweet reward at the end. Just to turn back to Woolies, what product category do you think Woolies will surprise customers with next?
I'm
Your
not
own
allowed to
expert
say.
That you can disclose at this juncture.
Sorghum.
I feel like there's a rule now that I can't speak about
sorghum.
sorghum. But I honestly think, and not because I'm, close to the team, but the bakery space has so much to offer.
Yeah.
And I know everyone always wants a sweet treat, but you always feel guilty. You mustn't. I feel like it should be perfectly fine to
Many
just...
things in there you'll love.
Exactly. So there's a lot of, items that are small as a simple treat, or things that you can gift someone, or you just wanted to visit a friend, and you'll discover something new. So there's always new launches within the space. And in my head, I know like a few of the little secrets, but I'm not going to tell you because I want you to like...
Yeah, I mean, we have to.
Ourselves, yeah.
Do you know something I do that I think is so revolutionary? When I am shopping, I start at the bakery section.
Oh.
I do.
Plot twist.
Because I don't treat it as like a reward at the end. I
Yeah.
treat it as a thing I deserve now.
No.
So we start at the bakery section.
Ironically, that's what I do when I eat out. So I
Yeah.
start with the dessert. And then I eat back.
Choose dessert and then...
Yeah.
And then,
But what do you get at the bakery section, though?
Hey.
What is your thing?
Oh, I sample everything. I do not
Variety
discriminate.
is
I'll
the-
start from
sorghum of life.
Exactly. From the croissants to the cakes to the donuts. I mean, with Woolies, there's something new that comes out every time. So
Yeah.
what's new this week?
My dirty little secret with Woolies is the little roly-polies. Five in a sleeve. You know what I'm saying?
girl.
There's 3 of those, no problem. You know what I'm saying? It's delicious.
Yeah.
They just sort of melt away.
I'm going to remind you of this quote in 10 years' time.
I didn't say it.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your insights, Zandile, and thank you for yours, Bertus. It's been an absolute pleasure having you
Thank
both
you.
on.
Thank you.
We've learned so much, and we will continue to push the sorghum agenda alongside you.
And I'll also drive it a bit more.
And Bertus will be having souffle.
Can't
at
wait.
one of
You're
your
always welcome.
restaurants.
Just choose a different date.
But also, when I have to make a booking here because I know you've
That's
fully
fine.
booked for 3 months.
But we'll seek you. That's
Okay.
That's fine.
I mean, I'm not invited, but you can ask me. I'll get you the...
It's tough question. Steve's got my number. No,
Direct
WhatsApp
line.
though.
Direct line.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not using Dine Plan. I'm using Steve.
100%.
Thank you both for joining us. I think it's been such a great episode. Learned so much. Heritage, innovation, sorghum, evangelism.
All of it.
Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this episode, find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.